world surrounded by franchises, reboots, and shared universes. An elite team of podcasters will risk body and soul to investigate the depths of intellectual properties, one multiverse, subgenre, and trend at a time. Who are we? We're the IP Squad. Welcome back to the IP Squad, an ongoing investigation into films based on Sherlock Holmes. I'm John Campbell. With me, of course, the Jones boys. We've got Brendan Jones.
Hello, everyone.
And Robin Jones.
Hey, John, listen.
Yes.
Robin, before you go into this, I just want our listeners to know, if you guys want to skip one of Robin's, backdoor pilot gags.
Backdoor pilot.
Yeah, just scroll ahead
hit that
2 minutes.
Hit
27 minutes.
Yeah, 20.
Of gold.
Yes.
Right, now keep
John,
going, Robin.
What have I given you the opportunity to start here?
You have given me such a great opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy to finally start. And Brendan will tell you, this has been a dream of mine since I was a kid, to finally do this podcast at the backdoor pilot for this episode. Gig economy, the light touch of the heavy drinker, Gig Young. And I am so happy.
I was trying to figure out. I'm like, no, he's not going to do a Roger Moore one, maybe a Macnee one, but I'm so glad that it was Gig Young.
Rampling.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gig
Rampling. Young. I thought maybe a Huddleston podcast.
I will say, if you're going to do a Gig Young one, that becomes true crime. So I will definitely appear on that one.
Brendan, one might argue it presses all the podcasts.
Yeah, actually, that's true. That we actually maybe should do that. That could be our most listened to show because we're getting all of them.
I'm just saying that's what John. That's going to get you the ads right there.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about today, John?
The drinking was heavy, but you know what a light touch is? The light touch you feel when you rest on the Casper mattress.
Just shoveling free advertising at people. We are talking about 1976's Sherlock Holmes in New York. Finally, the world's greatest detective in the Big Apple.
Yeah.
It is...
Yeah.
Everything you've dreamed of?
I mean,
it's
cute.
Truly, it's a pilot for a show that was never going to be made.
Yeah, well, I did wonder that. I'm like, was this a backdoor pilot? I don't think it was.
I don't think it could be. These names would not be,
because Roger Moore was.
They all had film careers.
Roger Moore was. Yeah, I mean, we've caught Roger Moore brief, and we're gonna take a couple trips into Bond Corner for a 007 corner. Just
only
for a
two? Oh my God! I thought we'd be here for hours. Jeez.
No. But this is between Man with a Golden Gun and Spy Who Loved Me for Sir Roger, and
a couple of the good ones.
I mean, actually, Spy Who Loved Me, I think is my favorite of the of Roger's Bond outings. I really like that one.
I like Man with a Golden Gun better, but that's fair.
I like a lot of Man with the Golden Gun. There's some stuff I don't like, but I do love Christopher Lee in that movie, obviously. And of course,
Golden Gun.
Did you say you have a golden gun, sir? Anyway, this is Roger Moore as Sherlock Holmes, Patrick Macnee as Dr. Watson,
as that walking corpse, that barely functioning human being.
And while I stay in 007 corner for just a little bit, these two basically have the same dynamic in A View to a Kill, where Macnee also shows up as Bond's sidekick, and they obviously got a kick out of each other clearly because the banter is very, very similar in that movie. It almost seems like, you know what was fun? That Sherlock Holmes movie. Get Patrick in this Bond picture.
And write him dumb.
Yeah, make him a dumb guy that I'm always like, oh, you.
The thing I'll say is, it is when you watch this, it's
Mm-hmm.
proof that Macnee, unlike Moore, had a lot of different tricks in his bag and was a solidly good actor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Stacy may have been joking about that, but no, he
Well, we didn't
Well,
actually
it's
say that
'cause
on
she
my.
was-
We didn't actually say that on Mike,
kind
Brendan.
of-
So go ahead and Robin, say that again. What she said
No,
about.
it's just well, my wife said she thought he was an incredible actor
Oh yeah.
because she's never seen someone play a walking corpse before.
Yeah.
So, well,
he's not that bad.
Well,
it's
it's-
just he's a
Watson
doof, and he's
is-
got the limp, which he
But
needs.
the
That's
thing that
Watson.
got me is the decrepitness in the voice.
the
Yeah, well, he's
scratchy
trying to do
voice.
it.
That was a
Nigel-
weird choice. That was the
He's
weirdest
trying to-
choice.
Yeah, he was trying to do Nigel Bruce, obviously, and
But he took it one step
Brendan,
further.
to your credit, it was him doing this. He clearly could have played a lot. We've seen him play so much more smart and suave, and
No, this was dictated probably by material and director.
We will get
And,
to see in a couple of weeks on the show. We will get to see him play Watson again alongside Christopher Lee.
Yes.
So that will be interesting to compare his Watson performance.
I will say that this, when you read reviews of it, or of course, person reviews, not necessarily. I haven't read any of the critical responses.
I mean,
official critics. But
this, of course, was a TV movie, so I don't know. Like, other than maybe a blurb in
Maybe-
TV Guide, I don't know how heavily reviewed this even
Vincent can
was.
be.
no. Judith Christ would have written one for TV Guide.
Sure, but basically, a lot of people keep referring to it as a spoof, and it's not.
No.
What it is similar to what we've watched the last couple weeks. When you get into this era, and it's interesting that this happens with a lot of IP. This is actually something that you probably have seen through all the stuff you're watching. Is that these big characters will become so well known, and all their tropes are so stock,
right?
That eventually people do lean towards the lightness or commentary on it. They'll go that direction.
Or
then there'll be
meta.
a course corrective where someone comes in and says, I'm going to do it legit. And then everyone just wakes up and goes, oh my God, that's why it was great in the first place. And then years will pass and it'll slide back into parody. Because when Jeremy Brett's stuff comes along and, another, decade after this, it's absolutely revelatory that you're like going, that's Sherlock.
Yeah.
So it happened with Bond. I mean, you could kind of say that a lot of the Roger Moore stuff or the later Roger Moore stuff, it's like we know Bond. Now it's all become kind of like we're gonna just drift on the iconography. And then suddenly someone's like going, nope, here's actually not Pierce Brosnan, but definitely Daniel Craig.
Well, Dalton though. It's Dalton after Moore that gets more
Dalton
grounded.
is a course corrective that it didn't really catch on with everybody.
I love those
movies.
And
then I would argue that Brosnan, to a degree, was a combo of Dalton and Moore.
Yes,
and,
yes, Brosnan, and look, we've tiptoed back into 007 corner, haven't we? But I will just say, yes, Brosnan tried to merge the two things, being more serious Bond with a wink. But I do agree that eventually these things become. Everything becomes, if not a spoof, it becomes this cartoon image of these characters, this pop culture.
Another example would be Zorro.
Yep.
After decades of Zorro, then there is Zorro the Gay Blade, and then there's the sitcom Zorro and Dad.
Oh, yeah.
And finally it gets to a place where they do this amazing Zorro film, and then a decent Zorro film after that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it is both
decent is generous there, Robin.
Of these characters being that well known, and I will say this feels like a TV movie, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
It's a fairly
handsome touch, whether or not we're making Gig Young jokes. It is.
They put some money into this, though. I mean, just getting the people they got. Number one,
that's one of the things I'll say is this is the 70s. You were TV movie heavy. It was the golden age of TV movies, and every now and then they would spend the money.
Yeah,
and this looks
100%.
good for a TV.
It's
movie,
a pretty handsome.
Still,
you can feel the TV of it, but I will say I was watching it going, this is a handsome TV movie.
Yeah. Completely shot in Burbank.
Oh yeah,
You're
but it's
like,
still very
okay.
much. It's still clearly TV.
You only need to shot in Century City at the
and
20th
lovely,
century,
lovely Studio City, California, where I make my home.
But this was the heyday of the TV movie, and therefore you could have a Sherlock Holmes in New York or a Bermuda Depths, which is an amazing film.
Wow.
That is
mind-blowing. Nobody's topping Bermuda Depths as a reference on this.
It's something
incredible.
Robin's very proud to own.
I love it.
He's just a massive Burl
Ives
fan,
loves,
though.
It's movies with giant turtles. So the thing is he's
a Burl Ives completist.
And a haunting theme
and a beautiful young Connie Selica.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
and a beautiful young Carl Weathers. I mean, it's just
yes,
sure.
in the prime, man.
Lee McCloskey, it's all there. It's all there.
It's all. What more could you ask
all
for?
All right, so we'll move
Lee
off
McCloskey
the Bermuda Depths.
in his 20s, sounding like he was in his 80s.
That's
how deep that guy's voice was.
Sherlock, I gotta say, I am surprised when I read in the trivia that initially Roger Moore turned down Sherlock Holmes, because I was telling you this, Brendan, when I was watching this yesterday, he plays this in a way where he's like, but of course, I've waited my whole life to be Sherlock Holmes.
I don't know if it was something he wanted to do, but I will say that watching it, I was curious, because if I saw this, I no doubt saw it as a kid. I don't really recall this.
This is not.
I don't think we ever saw it, Brendan.
This is not.
Okay,
it's around, but I will say, it seemed like it aired and then kind of disappeared.
I think it would have been probably sold into syndication and would have ended up on some afternoon movie that I might have seen when I was like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
But I will say this is that it's Roger Moore did come to play. I mean, whether or not it was something he dreamed of, he's still Roger Moore, because we talked about this yesterday, me and John, is that he's still limited, but he is engaged.
Yeah,
he's in. He's in.
Different than he is as Bond, and he's different than he is as the Saint.
Zany disguises and stuff. And
but there's also some kind of.
He loved that.
I think this is my least favorite Holmes in disguise of all of the movies we've seen so far. This is
come on, the Italian accent.
I think this is the most Holmes in disguise we've seen. He does 3 separate disguises in this movie.
But I think he also brings there's kind of a fire to it where he sells some serious stuff, and I'm like, oh,
well, I think
all right.
Well, this is him. I mean, it's a little bit in the obviously,
but he wasn't going to shave his sideburns, and he was not going to cut his hair.
Never.
Not for this. No, he cut it
that
for,
is not 1901 hairstyle.
How dare you? I will say, let me. I do have the quote here from him about why he ended up taking it.
Okay.
What I liked most about playing Holmes is that there's more.
Was the check. Sorry, moving on. Sorry.
No. I mean, he's in his Bond. He's not hurting for cash at this point. What I like most about playing Holmes is that there's more dialogue than I ever had in 120 Saint episodes and both of the Bond films I'd made at that point.
Yeah,
it's true.
I just get to talk a lot. Finally.
Yeah. Well, more lines he has to memorize. I would say he did. And the Saint, he always had that narration.
Yes.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in a recording booth. Yeah. What about when he played Bo Maverick? Or no, what was he? Was he Bo?
Maverick.
He was Bo Maverick.
Maverick.
Yeah. When he was Bo. Yeah. Brett, Bart,
Maverick's
and their
British cousin or Oxford-educated.
Yeah.
Cousin?
Unexplained. Yeah. British cousin Bo Maverick. He must have had a lot of dialogue on there.
John, he was educated at Oxford, and that's where he picked up.
I forgot that was the explanation.
Who's that tall dark stranger there?
Named Ben Maverick, played by Charles Frank on the TV show The New Maverick.
Oh well,
which
yes.
was made from the pilot TV movie Young Maverick.
We're not.
Hold on, we just somehow steered out of 007 corner into Maverick corner.
Can we just do a new Maverick corner?
Maverick corner. But no, yeah, I just like the idea. I mean, he whether or not he was interested in it initially, he does sink both his teeth into this thing, and he is way on board. And
well, he's got some A-list. I mean, with Houston and with Charlotte. Oh God, Charlotte Rampling corner coming up, folks. With Charlotte Rampling, I mean,
she's the one that really doesn't get
get
served. I mean, I will say this, that Houston is having, I will say, the whole movie opening with him drinking, I was like going, oh wait, did they just leave behind the scenes stuff?
Well, I will say, do you guys know who they tried to get for Moriarty before John Huston?
No.
He still would have been drinking. Roger Moore personally called up Oliver Reed. Really wanted Oliver Reed as Moriarty. And Oliver, this is my favorite piece of trivia. Oliver Reed said, 10 years ago, you said I was a shit actor. And I didn't forget that, Roger. I will not do this movie.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, he remembered something Roger Moore had said. I just love. But anyway.
And I think Moriarty.
Reed did like 2 or 3 episodes of The Saint, and that's more said.
Yeah.
Well, what
this
I will
guy
say
can't
again
act.
Is to finish my point.
Yes.
Is that he does fine, but the character really is only there to set it up and then be there at the end.
Yeah.
Literally in the goofiest, like, I'm gonna just. Oh, my plan's scrapped. I've got a gun to a kid's head. Ride. You know, that's lousy.
I do love this comic book.
Irene Adler
yes.
is the character that is not very well served. You have a perfect actress for that character.
Oh, yes. Oh,
you're sitting there going like, because not only beautiful, but clearly this is a brilliant woman, and she would have been great in a good Irene Adler role. And actually, here Irene Adler's a little bit chopped off at the knees by being just the worried mother,
right?
And a couple of lines that are kind of like, "Oh yes, well, you know, I still care for you, and we're still playing our little game."
Those are the moments where I thought she and Moore had some good chemistry.
No, they really did.
That I wish there had been more of. Yeah,
is his intellectual equal, and here she's a little damselish, and
no,
that's
I agree.
That's
the thing. It's like the couple times that they let them have a dynamic, I'm like, ooh, this is good. I kind of wish this was the whole vibe. Because Roger Moore never didn't have. I never didn't have. Never didn't have chemistry with a gorgeous lady.
Yeah. Is this whole episode going to be you slipping into Roger Moore? Just every other sentence?
It just might be.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I
don't know why I do these. You know, it's like I don't. It's just gonna
when
be
I'm not
Robin
talking like
one,
John Huston.
You know, I have held back this entire time on both my Houston and my Macnee. So
wow.
Throw me up.
Well, I will say Houston is always just fun to be John Huston, right? I mean,
that's basically what he is here.
No, and I think he's
well, he has an Irish accent.
Sort of.
They give him the.
I'll give him a
lilt where he makes Moriarty all about a class war.
Yes, a class war.
Much as
it's like, you upper crust Sherlock Holmes. I am the brilliant.
I will say, I did enjoy. Once again, it's all part of the TV moviness, the slightness of this, though. But I did love. One thing is that this movie, you talk about the idea that, like, at a certain point, these characters just become so ubiquitous in pop culture. This does just launch in, like, you know these characters, their relationships, and you're familiar with everything, because it just opens with, like, yet again, Moriarty. We meet once more in our ongoing battle. But I do love the comic booky nature of he's got a secret lair with hidden doors. I mean, like, they have reached such unrealistic villainy.
Death traps in the room, and he goes, "Do you want to know why I didn't use those on you?" And it's like, I despise them. They're beneath me. And I'm like, okay, that's a good Moriarty bit where it's like, I could have killed you already 12 times, but the thing is, that is not the way I want to do.
Well, I said it's like reading issue 125 of the Sherlock Holmes comic, where they're just like,
you don't need
we've been there. We've done it, Sherlock.
However, the end of this movie, like, instead of like the Reichenbach Falls, the downfall of Moriarty here is literally Sherlock stabbing him to death with his sideburns. And I was like, I didn't see that coming.
I will say,
did not see that coming.
I will say, when
these are ridiculous, man.
When they throw down, I am like, oh, John Huston's not gonna.
Yeah, please be careful.
Frail old John Huston, and then pretty prime Roger Moore is gonna kick his ass.
It looked like Roger Moore's stunt double showed up the double for John Huston.
Yes. That's it.
I just thought they're gonna actually come to blows, because that's gonna be sad to watch.
No, John's off camera going, all right, send the fella in.
Yeah, send him in. Get him in there.
I did appreciate that they put the Maltese Falcon in Moriarty's desk. That was
cute. The whole movie is cute. It's very forgettable. It's very light, but I was charmed. I had fun for the 95 minutes that it ran, and then went, I will never think about this ever again, other than just the trivia that Roger Moore once played Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
And the Big Lebowski.
And the Big Lebowski's in this.
Big Lebowski, yeah.
I mean,
I just kept taste better than Sherlock Holmes' smarter brother, which I thought dragged a little bit in places,
but what I said this at the beginning too. Yeah, zippy is what this thing just kind of zips along. It's really it's very digestible. Which is faint. Although, I understand that's faint, almost backhanded praise, but it does. It's just sort of
when Roger Moore shows up as Giuseppe, the escape artist,
he's having too much fun.
He looks exactly like Gig Young as guy in charge of the gold exchange.
Oh my God, Gig Young!
You mean Mortimer McGrew?
I will say, talk about the drinking. This is a guy. This is a Gig Young who's been through it.
Yeah, I mean, but he's explaining how it works to Holmes and Watson, and it looks like he's just barely reading off the card. But
listen, he'd already been through a lot fighting off literal devils in Spectre. So the guy, I mean, a Bob Culp isn't going to be
of that. The Citizen Kane of failed Roddenberry pilots.
I think I told you that I went through a phase during the pandemic where I was seeking out all those occult 1970s TV movies and failed pilots.
Yeah.
So I did Spectre, and I did the 2 Louis Jourdan ones.
Did you Satan's School for Girls?
Of course.
Well, that's the gold standard, isn't it? I mean, really, that's the classic. Well, I mean,
did you? Brennan, did you see Don't Be Afraid of the Dark with Jim Hutton and Kim Darby?
I didn't see that one.
Oh, that's a good one.
I have seen it, but
that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, very good.
You can get it on Blu-ray from Warner Archives.
Oh, can you? Oh, I actually might want that. It's very good, actually.
I would say get that as a double feature with Bad Ronald.
Bad Ronald.
What's
which you own?
The one I have is the one that Carpenter directed, which is what Someone Is Watching You.
Someone Is Watching.
Very good.
With Lauren Hutton and
very
good.
Once again, this is what we're talking with. This seems like we're off topic, but really it is. This was a time when the TV movies were
when you could have these things.
Let's say they're not all good, because we saw this when we did Meet the Monsters, Brendan. We watched a bunch of these,
but there were so many. You had a good ratio of.
That's
the
thing.
Bad.
They had the potential to be good. By the time I was a kid, into the 80s, 90s. They were gonna be bad, pretty much. Yeah. They really weren't trying at that point.
The best you could hope for is having Sci-Fi Channel, and maybe they'll do a
couple part miniseries where they're adapting an Arthur C. Clarke book or something.
Until they just gave up and became Asylum Part 2.
The Asylum Channel.
They eventually became that, but there was a period of time when they would do they did a multi-part Childhood's End miniseries and stuff like that. They would do when they did the Dune, and they did their best. They were sincere.
And
Dune
in the 70s, you would have terrible stuff, and then you'd also have this really interesting adaptation of the Martian Chronicles.
Yeah. The Rock Hudson Martian Chronicles.
Kind of things. Yeah.
Anyway, back to this movie. The thing about this, we were saying this just before we started recording. We were talking just before this too about that we talked too much before this. But I will say we were all in a kind of agreement that the New York of Sherlock Holmes in New York is doesn't really matter.
No.
Yeah, that to me is a bit of a shame, because other than extras and people they run into speaking with American accents, and even Huddleston's doing an Irish guy, but that's very New York.
But I almost had to keep reminding myself it was New York, because it still just felt like a London set Sherlock Holmes movie for the most part.
Constant, and they went to this way too often with the whole Watson with the time difference thing, where he's like going, "Oh, what is with these colonists? London time is good enough for me." And you're like, "You're an intelligent man, Watson.
Well,
you didn't invent this.
let me say this, Brendan. Is he in this?
My wife was so tired of him being dumb. I just went, Sherlock, explain how oxygen works again. I don't understand.
But they do give him little bits here and there. But yeah, generally
he's
speaking,
quick with the laudanum, and that's about it, Brendan.
It's not great. I still stand by that we have not seen a good portrayal of Watson on this podcast as of yet.
Not yet. When are we getting to the 7% solution?
Oh, perhaps, Robin, perhaps very soon.
It may be our next film.
We're in
the 70s. Come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that is, like I said, a missed opportunity. It's clear that since it's 1901, and literally we see him on his own bookshelves, he's got the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So Watson has been cranking those stories out, meaning everyone, even in New York. I think it's hilarious that they know about this upcoming crime of gold bullion being stolen and all that, and the New York cops literally just raise their hands and go, "Oh, thank God Sherlock Holmes is visiting our city."
Right. We really lucked into the, like, Huddleston is basically just like, "What fortune?"
Yeah, and then Huddleston basically says, "Okay, if you want to go save that boy or whatever," he doesn't tell him the reason, but he's like, "If you don't help us, then we're just lost." I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, he's the greatest detective, but there are other crime stoppers in New York City.
It veers into the 66 Batman thing where the Gotham police are just useless. They don't do anything. They're just like, call Batman right now.
Writing parking tickets. That's about it.
Yeah. So other than mentioning the building of their first underground, which of course Watson gets to mock because he goes, "They don't even have an underground train yet." Man,
they don't even have no, Brandon. He said they don't even have an under.
Yep.
It is the
boy, if
I
you
was
liked
not ready
how,
for Macnee's take.
How flirtatious and sexy he was in the Avengers, then you're going to not understand what his
you're like how did he
older brother is doing in this movie.
How did he age 40 years in 10? It's like
oh my God.
That's not John Steed. You have to separate.
It is, but I'm talking about but I was thinking about when they were paired in once again in A View to a Kill, which is probably almost 10 years later. He's livelier in that, even though he's older. This is such a choice. That's the thing that gets me. It's just not like Macnee really was decrepit at this. No, and I think even if I remember the Lee movie, a little trivia.
After Sherlock Holmes in New York came out, now I may be wrong about this, and my artist brother might correct me, but I don't think I am. There was a paperback edition of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes that has A Scandal in Bohemia in it that came out in the late 70s, early 80s. And I would swear that illustration of Irene Adler on the cover is an illustration of Charlotte Rampling.
I don't remember this.
I would bet money on it. That's, I think, the influence of me, even though I don't remember it coming out at all. And I would have been looking for something like this in, what was it, 76, John?
This is 76, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been something I would have,
Yeah, it quite possibly is the case.
I'm looking to see if I can find it.
Yeah, it's like a pocket or Penguin or Pocket Books or something. And anyway, that's a classic. Robin stops the podcast.
That's in my day. I remember that they would often use, without licensing, actors' faces on book covers.
It's not this this Italian-looking one, is it?
I don't know.
It's kind of green and white.
Oh, then it's not what I'm looking at. Anyway, I'll keep looking, but we don't have to.
All right. I meant to look it up before the recording, and I was gonna send it to you guys, but I forgot.
Another problem with Roger Moore as Sherlock Holmes, he's built right, but he is still too handsome. I mean, that's not his
for
fault.
God's sakes, here comes.
He's the right height, but Brendan, every time he shows up in disguise, he's this hulking guy, no matter what disguise it is.
Well, I'm not.
And I just keep going. Nobody notices the giant who's protesting the world is ending.
As Sherlock Holmes,
Sherlock
Holmes is not meant to be movie star attractive. That's why you have guys who are still very attractive guys, but are quirky or unique looking, usually with that hawkish profile, because that's something the character is known to have. So this guy who Roger Moore is just too damn handsome. And when you also have the 70s like coiffed hair and
well, he's been doing his Brendan. He's been doing his knee bends. Anyone who has read his diary from Live and Let Die knows that was about the extent of his exercise. Did my morning knee bends, and I'm ready to go. But yes, I do agree that every time he puts on a disguise, he plays it in a way where he can't wait to reveal that he's Sherlock Holmes as well, right? Like he's just like, you're about to find out I'm Sherlock Holmes.
It's like at the very beginning when Houston Moriarty lets him into the lair, and he's this just gigantic guy, and I keep thinking, Moriarty, how many gigantic people do you know?
But he does such a convincing voice. He's like, yes, sir. Bringing it in here, sir.
No, his it is so weird
like
because
when he does Clouseau in that Pink Panther movie where he shows up at the end.
Yeah.
And it just sounds like Roger Moore with
because that's the thing is you never, to your point, Brett, not only are his performances the same, but he never really altered his voice in any movie I can think of ever. So when he's trying to, it does feel like it's just so goofy because he's having to do these extreme voices to do anything.
Right.
And they come off, they're very silly. There is no disguise that is not just a broad cartoon character that he's playing in this.
Whereas, the Rathbone one, you are not sure if it's Rathbone or not. And the John Neville one is very good. And even the guy in Smarter Brother, it's both a great comedy bit and it's a really good disguise as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
When he's throwing the sand at Wilder's face.
I will say that any master disguise in any TV show or movie is something that you just buy the conceit of. Because
that's why I love the Mission Impossible. Just have it be the guy and then take off the mask and there's a different guy.
And that because we've got digital effects now.
Or the classic Mission Impossible, which is have it be Martin Landau and then Martin Landau will disguise himself.
It's one of the things
the Martin Landau guy.
It's one of the things I love in De Palma's movies that he does that. He has Cruz be the Southern senator guy who Cruz can then look like later, which I thought was great.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, now that we tiptoed into Mission Impossible corner too.
Oh wow.
No, but yeah, the because once again, I think some of the reason we're tiptoeing into this also is it's very slight. Can we talk about, though, that it does do kind of a big thing in that it gives Sherlock Holmes a child? That is kind of a big addition to the mythos.
Yeah. It does a Superman Returns.
It really does, yeah. But
he clocks it from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And then we do because we are as smart as Roger Moore is, apparently.
Yeah.
And then
I've always known that.
Imagine a world where we are as smart as Roger Moore.
Macnee just doesn't get it at all the entire time.
Well, no, because he's.
What do you mean? Did you have relations with that woman?
All I wanted was one line about how
I thought you were gay.
No, that's the other movie, Watson. That was Billy Wilder's take. Yeah, just give me one line about a recent head injury to Watson, and I'm okay with this performance.
Yeah, any Watson, you haven't been the same since that horse kicked you.
I will not allow any bad mouthing of Patrick Macnee.
It's not entirely Macnee. It's not entirely.
I like him. It's
No. And like I said, if I remember correctly, he is
Watson.
he's not this bumbling, and it's been a long time since I said, but I believe he's not this bumbling in the Christopher Lee movies.
No, he's not.
I think he is more.
I read that too. Is that he played it much more serious because those aren't romps. The way
No. Yeah, I remember liking those. We'll get to that. We'll watch one of those soon.
All right.
Should we talk about who helmed this picture? Let me talk about Boris Sagal.
Katie Sagal's dad.
Is he Katie Sagal's dad? I didn't see that. Oh, yes.
He birthed the
Also
Seagal.
twin too,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's him.
They were double trouble, if you know what I mean.
No, she wasn't. Well, the twin. Yes, she wasn't one of those two.
No, she wasn't.
She was the older sister.
Right. Who ended up being an immensely talented and beloved actress for a long time and still is. Yeah.
My favorite thing about the two of them is he throws her a bone by giving her like 5 lines as a waitress in an episode of Columbo in the 70s that he's directing.
Oh, yes.
And she is the most insolent waitress. Like she has no time for any of the nonsense.
Yes.
And it's like, well, I get you wanted to sing and be in rock bands and stuff, but obviously this was where you were headed.
What's interesting, that specific tone she has in that Columbo will define everything she does going forward. Is that
100%.
She's so good at that. But this guy,
and I think that Columbo was something she didn't want to do. Her dad made her do it, which is part of
Robin.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're pulling back on.
But I will say, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Boris Sagal, longtime veteran TV director, but did direct 1971's The Omega Man.
Sure.
Fucker.
Gave us our finest Zerby performance on screen.
John, how did you thread that name? Because I did not remember that, and I have a copy of it on Blu-ray.
There you go. I do too. He directed that. So the thing that stands out about it is almost everything else he did was TV. That's the thing that's kind of random about him directing The Omega. He didn't do many theatrical features. And for him to have done one that is, at least well remembered, if not beloved by some.
Join us.
No, I'm not a huge fan.
Oh, I really dig The Omega Man. It is very, very 1971.
My favorite thing is watching Charlton Heston
watch Woodstock.
Woodstock.
It's the
because
best.
You know that he is.
As he's lip syncing along with what the hippies are saying, he's
but you know,
and he's just going,
God, on the inside as a human being.
God damn it!
He is grinding his teeth into dust.
God
I think that's where
damn
the
it!
tears came from, Brendan.
Oh boy, yeah, he's just fuming. Anyway, yeah.
Jefferson Airplane,
son of a bitch. Good God.
Richie Havens, if I meet you on the street,
I've got to give.
I feel like I've been taking the brown.
I've got to give credit to the great voice actor Ralph Garman, who does my favorite Heston impression. Where at the end of every sentence he just goes, "I had to watch the hippies." He always does the. Anyway, but this guy directed an insane amount of television, and I will say, this feels like just a guy who's a sure hand at the helm. This is competent. It is, we talk about well-paced. It is decently, if not spectacularly shot.
Yeah, the chase scene with the carriages was very well done.
This is a guy who's just been at it forever.
Over the same streets over and over again. So
this guy's
they've got one stretch of backlot.
This guy has been at it. I mean, this guy directed the pilot of Dr. Kildare. That's how long this guy was around for.
Wow.
He's I think he does just fine.
Well, if you love 70s TV, then you love something that Boris Sagal has done.
Absolutely, and I do. That is I've mentioned this. That is a real warm blanket for me. Any of those Mystery Wheel shows, just the vibe of. I think that's part of why I enjoyed this so much too. Is I do just love this vibe of television that was going on at the time. It was just, it was exciting, but also taking it easy at the same time.
Right.
Where was that in?
It's like the love I have for any episode of Banachek starring that terrible George Papard.
Yes.
I can sit and watch that shit.
I can watch a Good. Banachek goes down smooth. And speaking of that, I don't think he didn't write for Banachek, but the guy who wrote this, Alvin Sapinsley, or Sapinsley, I don't know how you exactly pronounce it, just weirdly not a Banachek in his resume, but basically every other procedure. The FBI, Ironside, Kojak, Hawaii Five-0. So, I mean, this is another guy who just churned this out in a weekend between, episodes he was writing of, Kojak. He wrote Moon of the Wolf, Brendan. We watched that. The David Jansen werewolf TV movie.
Or was it?
No, that one did have a werewolf.
Yeah,
the Peter Graves one doesn't.
That was the fake out one.
Yeah, the Moon of the Wolf did have.
I will say, just to end this wonderful discussion of 70s TV, Harrison Ford used to say that all of his parts in the late 60s, early 70s was inevitably him talking to Efren Zimbalist saying, I know you need to get him, but he's my brother. He played the younger brother of like Don Stroud or one of these guys.
Yeah.
Of Rick Dalton.
He's probably dealing some of that happy weed. Some of that.
I know you have to get him, but he's my brother.
He's my brother.
Yeah, he was.
And I think that's when Ford was like going, maybe I could just do carpentry.
You know what?
I'd be a carpenter and sell.
Maybe I'll just do that.
I'd actually rather just build a deck if I'm being honest. Yeah, he was Rick Dalton's brother in that FBI episode that they watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
So Sherlock Holmes was in New York.
Well, allegedly.
Yep, and he fought Moriarty.
Here's a real TV movie thing that I enjoyed. And because I even had the thought, when they catch Moriarty at the end, and it's the same set that he's in the beginning, and you just have Holmes go, you've obviously replicated this room in many cities all over the world. And it's nice. Yeah. Nice work, guys.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Wow, down to the precise detail. Including you've got copies of all the artifacts and antiques that were in that one. That's crazy.
That's just nuts. That wasn't good.
No, that was also... talk about not only the fight scene, but when he has to scurry away, when he closes the door and run, you're like, oh, don't make John Huston run.
No, don't. No one wants.
Well, the bourbon's not sitting well.
That 45-minute coughing fit. You know what I mean?
Someone on Letterboxd in their review said, they're like, put it right up there with the greatest film of the 70s. And it's another ending where John Huston runs away with a minor.
It's kind of true,
This movie and Chinatown are pretty much just linked.
I was thinking about,
sister,
again,
my daughter, my daughter.
That he had done Chinatown, like literally within the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And Rampling had gone from Night Porter, Zardoz to this.
Yeah.
To
Stardust Memories.
Good in Stardust.
Not just yet.
That's early 80s.
That's a couple years away.
I think she still has the Philip Marlowe My Lovely to do.
Oh, yeah. Bob Mitchum.
But, I mean, again, this is not, just since we're sort of comparing and contrasting how they've done all the Sherlock Holmes movies or the ones we've watched, this isn't up there with the best. It's not up there with the worst. It is slight and entertaining.
It's right down the middle.
It's right down the middle, and it coasts on the strengths of the cast because, Houston isn't taking it too seriously. He's a cartoon, but that's fine considering the story we're dealing with. And you do wish, like, oh yeah, like I was saying, Charlotte Rampling would have been an amazing Irene Adler and something better, but she's great here anyway. And yeah, there's a great chemistry, even though they don't give Watson any intelligence in this, really. There's great chemistry between Roger Moore and Patrick.
Yeah, like I said, you can all of these with a better script, this thing could have been. Once again, even if Moore isn't like tailor-made for Sherlock, you can imagine him in a better Sherlock movie. You can imagine him and Macnee and Rampling doing better work. You can even imagine Houston having something better to do than literally just be a guy going, I've done it,
So as the plot goes in this, the only thing that's really, I mean, there's some cleverness with the whole thing about, yes, well, the elevator is not going all the way down, and they recreated
That's what I was
going
to say. That's my favorite part of this whole
Well, it's kind of the only time he
outfits
outfits anyone.
The puzzle of the gold is, I think, a very solid.
Yeah, he goes, do you know how much that weighs? Do you know how many people it would take to move that? And it would take this many days. And it's like, couldn't have been done in 6 days. And that's pretty great. And maybe the jeopardy, which is just good screenwriting, of if it were just the gold thing, that's not a challenge. The whole deal is he cannot get involved or his son will die. And so it's like, how do I save my son? Therefore, I can solve the gold thing. So that little bit of jeopardy is fine, though it's dealt with very easily. Like, we'll just go in and we'll sneak out in disguise. I do that really well.
Here's the thing, though, that I picked up or that I noticed, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is this the first movie we've seen Holmes actually use a magnifying glass in? I think this is the first time I've actually seen him pull out. It's when they're examining the gold room.
The room, yeah.
For it's such an iconic image, but I can't remember seeing him use a magnifying glass on screen. It's always the drawing of him.
I think the first one or the second one with Basil Rathbone that we saw, one of those two,
maybe,
where they're examining like a letter. I mean, it's not
possible,
a huge thing.
Yeah.
It's just like,
this is let me say this is at least the first time I clocked it, at the very least.
Yeah.
That they like make a point of him
in the reviews, like going, oh, he has the right pipe. I mean,
great.
I'm a nitpicker.
Great.
But someone's really going, at least it's the right type of pipe.
Oh my God.
And he said it was a 6-pipe problem as opposed to...
No, it was a 4-pipe problem.
He does where
he does Hound of Baskervilles. He said it was like a 2-pipe problem or something.
He does wear the deerstalker, but I want to talk about the furry fedora.
I know you do.
My wife also did not like that. She found it distracting.
I agree. It's a bit much.
She said it was too 70s, but period, but the wrong period. She said nobody really wore fedoras like that at the turn of the century.
I don't think that's technically a fedora. I mean,
well, it's in that vein of the it's a little different, but it's fedora-esque. I don't know what to call it exactly.
But
I'm no hat expert.
What she was talking
about. Yeah, we need to
get
the haberdasher on the phone here.
That wouldn't be.
No.
That it would be something more like what he, as the Italian escape artist, wore. That was more appropriate for that.
I will say I did. Not even that it wasn't period, but I was just like, what in the hell is that thing he's wearing? And why is he suddenly wearing that instead of the deer stuff? Like, you just, because you're like, oh, they're giving you the iconic, and then it's like, okay, then he decided to put this thing on.
Well,
I like it better.
He had his hairstyle from the Persuaders.
Yeah.
And I think that he had seen some Shatner work and was like, I want those sideburns, but I want them to be even more extreme. Give me the Shatner.
He said, take that, Shatner.
Keep it going. Those are ridiculous.
You really are. The sideburns really got you on this one. They're omnipresent.
It doesn't matter what time period this would have been shot in. Those don't fit. This is set in 1901. They don't fit in 1901. This is shot in 1976. They don't fit 1976.
What about in the future when the Federation forms, Brennan? I mean,
or what about in the future when it's Sherlock Holmes in the 23rd century spinoff of Brave Star?
Oh man,
Brave Star.
Hey man, let us know because we've threatened a Brave Star podcast.
Now I'm intrigued.
Yeah, there's a 2-part Brave Star which brings Sherlock Holmes.
It's a backdoor pilot. Yeah,
there was a backdoor pilot. Yeah,
yeah, it's very weird.
And yet my Gig Young idea is shot down and
whatever. We have threatened the Brave Star
every week, Campbell. Every week.
Yeah, and yet it's going to end up being the Brave Star podcast that ends up happening. Can we talk about Jackie Coogan being in this? Because you talk about, is it 1970s TV when you get a Jackie Coogan cameo?
Uh-huh.
He runs the hotel where Sherlock stays.
And does just a bit of business.
No, not where Sherlock stays, where the woman who was tricked into abducting the kid, and then he shows up in disguise.
And it really is just like, hey, everyone, it's Jackie Coogan. He's going to do some business.
Yeah. Right. Yep. It's right up there with Leon Ames with his one scene as the theater owner.
Oh yeah. These are all recognizable figures of television and stuff, and it is just meant to be like, hey, and
we know that guy,
and they get a scene, a spotlight scene where Holmes banters with them or whatever.
Yeah,
sometimes
in a ridiculous accent.
Yeah,
oftentimes. Finally, I was able to show my love of accents.
I don't sleep in a bed with the bugs.
I do not like.
People always said I had an ear for dialects.
Because I will from this hotel.
Bond never let me do the accents. I like the idea that
Bond doesn't disguise himself.
He never did for a single second, especially when he was Roger Moore. He just burst into rooms. It was like, I'm James Bond of British intelligence.
James Bond.
Yeah. I mean, he does always use his own name. I just thought, like, once again, it's like, that's another reminder of the Coogan cameo of like, right, TV.
Yeah. By the way, longtime viewers and listeners will be excited to know that John and I are doing a reboot of The Trip by Michael Winterbottom, where we tour restaurants.
It's about time.
In the beautiful Oregon area.
It's about time we got.
Also have our dueling impressions.
It's about time that there be an American version of that takes place in the Pacific Northwest.
Sadly, I won't be in town during that.
Brendan wasn't available for some reason.
Brendan didn't watch it because he's like, I've seen it.
I've seen it. Watch it. I lived it.
I lived it. Yeah. I did actually. Speaking of that, I did like that line in this movie at the end when they talk about like, I'm sure you'll find out all about it when Dr. Watson writes up this adventure. I was like, that's nice.
And then Watson goes, how do I use a pen again?
I know, I did go. This guy doesn't seem like he's putting a lot of pen.
Help with words.
A B. Oh dear.
Sherlock, how do I put on clothes again?
I just want one scene where he takes like Irene Adler or somebody aside and just goes, I'm very worried about Watson. He does not seem to be doing well. Have you noticed he's changed?
Ever since the adventure of the falling.
I think this Watson went over the Reichenbach fall, not Holmes. And he's never been the same since. Well, befitting this, obviously this wasn't a theatrically released movie, so normally I talk about the box office.
This made no money.
But I will instead. Let's take a trip back down memory lane and talk about what the top rated TV shows were in 1976. Then, to give a sense of what was on. Happy Days, number one with a bullet, baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Average 31.5 million viewers. Happy Days.
That Tuesday night lineup. That ABC had.
Well, because I think you're about to hit what number 2 is a pretty easy guess. Then what was on after Happy Days? Laverne and Shirley.
Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah.
And had Three's Company premiered by this point or no?
No, I don't think Three's Company is on
Not yet.
just yet.
All right.
Oh no, wait, hold on. There it is. Sorry, 11th place. Yeah.
They'd move up. Yeah.
Yeah,
They were all
they're
on
in their
cruises.
first season
Happy
at this
Days,
point.
Laverne and Shirley.
I think they premiered
Company,
fall of '76. So
Yeah.
if
No,
you're
they
looking at
had
1976, they haven't gotten there yet.
they had just come on. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were about to take over, but like once again, this also paints a picture of what television was like. That the third highest rated show of the year was the ABC Monday Night Movie. That was
There
still
you go.
like you got to
Right.
watch what movie's on.
Right.
Where's Family on the list? Is Family on the list?
Man.
Family did not crack the top 30.
Not-
Doesn't look like.
No, that was ABC and Spelling had made a deal with Mike Nichols to do that show. And so they kept it on for like 4 or 5 years. ABC, to make nice with Spelling, so that he could have something prestigious that won Peabodys and things.
Well, because
Yeah.
the fifth.
and Nichols, just because he wanted that sweet TV money. So,
Oh, that is good money too.
yeah.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Spelling, the fifth highest rated show of the year was Charlie's Angels,
Of course.
and of course, fourth was MASH. So
Yeah.
but I have a
Right.
feeling you guys were watching the seventh highest rated show of the year, The $6 Million Man.
Yes.
Yeah, I was.
You better believe I was.
We managed to watch all the shows, so I think I remember us flipping during commercials a lot.
Could I just say
We would
that
go back and forth.
in
If there was anything that was like on at the same time, it'd be
Yeah.
okay, because I was also
Yeah.
watching Project Blue Book. I mean, come on, man.
that
Yeah.
didn't believe it or not, Brendan, that did not crack the top 30 that I have here.
And Project Blue Book opened with Webb intoning as the voiceover.
Ezekiel saw the wheel.
Fuck yeah! Brendan gets it. He remembers.
He knows what it was.
Goddamn
He
right.
was
And, by the way,
alive
you wanna
then.
start an argument, by the way?
Wheel.
If you want
Oh.
to start an argument, bring up. I remember that show was called Project Blue Book, and
But
you'll
it's
have half
called-
the country going, "It was Project UFO."
Project UFO.
I find
And then
that
you
so
go,
strange.
It was regional. We saw it as Blue
I
Book.
think
you
that's
saw it
so
as UFO.
interesting
Same
that
show.
was. I mean,
And then they would change titles. If the show was still running on the air, they would change titles if it was also in syndication.
Yeah, yeah.
So like Emergency started being syndicated about the third year in, and the syndicated title was like not Emergency, it was like Firefighter is in Peril, or so it was just
I
some
don't
kind
know.
of
I watched Emergency and Adam 12.
right.
I watched
But-
a little
but-
Chips.
But they would change the title
SWAT.
if it was in syndication.
Yes, yeah.
oh, I do
If it
love
was
some
still
SWAT.
running.
I know you love
If
SWAT.
Bonanza was still running, and the syndicated version was called the Ponderosa.
Oh wow,
Interesting.
So that kind of
that's
thing. Yeah.
dumb.
That is dumb because
Yeah, we
obviously that's insane to me because Bonanza is, was still an iconic show on reruns when I was a kid, but that's Bonanza.
Would you say that you are
Bananas
for Bonanza?
Bonanza? Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
No, actually, I was more of a Gunsmoke guy, but that's.
I watched Gunsmoke too.
That
Yep.
was yeah.
Watched
And
it
I
all.
watched the spinoff from Gunsmoke, Dirty Sally.
Did you really?
Wow. All right,
Yeah,
there
That
it
one
is.
doesn't ring any bells.
That is now
Dirty
officially the
Sally
most
was
obscure
about a
reference.
crazy old lady hermit who rode around the West with a gambler on the run,
Okay.
played by Dak Rambo, and Dirty Sally was played by Jeanette Nolan, and it had this theme of Dirty Sally rides through the valley like that, and it was
Wow. That's great.
All
only
right,
lasted
let
a
me.
year.
Let
Next
me.
week we'll be talking about Evil Roy Slade. Join us next week when the IP squad jumps.
Yeah,
It will
to
be
just
Detroit
70s TV.
Slade
You know what?
v.
70s
the
TV
Brothers
movies
O'Toole.
would not be a terrible season of the show.
70s
But
TV movies would be fun.
yeah, but
I'd be on board.
but we got to finish up with some highs and lows, fellas.
I
All right,
love-
I'm ready.
All right, here this comes to us from the New American Party. Ugh.
Oh, wow, that's not frightening at all.
John, where did
This
no,
comes to us from the
no.
Serpent Society. Oh, wait, hold on.
I will say this was written in
Comes to us from
2008.
Spectre.
This was written in 2008. I have no idea what that meant then.
Jesus
Yeah, here we
God.
go. But I will say the title of the review is
Not enough white people. What-
In this? There's not a person of color in the whole movie.
It's the most woke
enough
Sherlock
white
Holmes I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, no. So this is okay. The review is titled Roger
Oh
Moore's
my
crisp
God.
wit and twinkling eyes warm all Sherlock Holmes fans' hearts. That's the title of the review, okay?
Okay.
As a 1,000% Sherlock Holmes aficionado, that's right. This person knows their stuff. It caught me off guard
because you can have 1,000% of something.
As a 1,000% Sherlock Holmes aficionado, it caught me off guard to see.
Come up with that percentage.
All right, it caught this person off guard
because this is another one that's going to be like 4 pages.
No,
so
it's not that. It's long-ish. It caught me off guard to see one of the handsomest and debonair stars in Hollywood agree to play a new kind of Holmes with a secret romantic past. Result in a possible son with Charlotte Rampling, who was the perfect diva, and Scott, Roger Moore's real-life son. We didn't actually touch on that. This is Roger Moore's son playing Scott.
Moore.
Yeah, Jeffrey Moore. It's a father and son affair. Doing a great. Roger Moore's real-life son does a great job in the film. Boris Sagal was a true genius in both his casting. I mean, who better than Roger as Holmes and Houston as Moriarty? But in his giving the day's pages to the actors on the same day they shot to keep it all new and to cleverly hide the fact that this was hijinks indeed. It was melodrama at its best, with a wink and a nod to all previous Sherlocks and Dr. Watsons, played to the hilt by Patrick Macnee. No one could have pulled it off better than Roger Moore, Mr. Charm himself.
Jesus Christ.
And particularly when working with the young ingenue, Maria Grimm as Nicole Romaine, the innocent dupe of villains who held her brother to force her to kidnap her pet student Scott, Charlotte Rampling, presumably Sherlock Holmes' unknown son, in order to force his hand. This was rich and creamy texture to the wonderful but sometimes dry toast previous Holmes, and it's apparent that both Roger Moore and Miss Grimm had a great time playing their scenes together. She even swooned on command, something today's heroines would be hard put to accomplish. I look forward to owning this on DVD and adding it to my Holmes collection with fondness and kudos to the late Boris Sagal, the wonderful and legendary cast, and the most irresistible Holmes ever. 10 out of 10 stars.
Wow.
All right,
wow.
John, I'm gonna say something.
Yeah.
And I hope this isn't too much of a hot take on that review.
Okay.
But I think that guy's a dum-dum.
I have affection for this movie, but I do not agree with the insane.
I would question if he saw the movie. Is my question.
I think he just saw that Roger Moore was in something and was like, "Oh my god!"
Also, names out. Like that woman wasn't the governess. She was like some friend that they see backstage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She was one of the dancers.
Oh.
And one thing that I don't want to ever have you use in a review again. I know you didn't write.
I didn't. Yeah, I don't use. I just read.
I know, but never read another one that discusses the texture of anything. I don't want
the rich and creamy texture of this movie.
Yeah, I think the New American Party was born and died within that review.
By the way, I would if I was
Join me.
If I was to bring up the texture of one Roger Moore,
on a pro Sherlock Holmes in New York.
I don't think Roger Moore was a creamy texture. He was more of a leathery or mahogany. That guy was never not tan as the day is long.
Yeah, he and George Hamilton had a tan off.
Yeah.
Everybody do a shot. John just said something vaguely homoerotic about Roger Moore.
I do love Roger Moore. I do love Roger very much.
Okay. He's a handsome dude.
Yeah, that was my bond. My Bond growing up was Roger.
And that was the title of his autobiography. My Word is My Bond.
I know this because I read it. Of course I did. I also read Bond on Bond, his book about the franchise. Anyway, interesting that I say that because here's our low review. This comes to us from this is a cool guy, Cosmo Cat.
Oh, I want to party with this dude.
Cosmo Cat. All right.
They used to watch that cartoon in the 70s.
Cosmo Cat.
Oh man,
Cosmo Cat. He's a cat in space.
That's like the Secret Lives of Walter Kitty. Brendan, remember that one?
Yes, I do.
All right, here it is. The title of the review. The name is Bond. Holmes. Sherlock Holmes.
Clever. I see what he did there.
This may be the worst Sherlock Holmes film I've ever seen. I haven't seen the 70s version of Hound of the Baskervilles, but it's hard to imagine that it could be worse than this. The acting is awful, the dialogue is horrible, and the plot is rice paper thin. Why must we assume that whenever two characters have affection for one another, they immediately jump in the sack and make a baby?
What?
That's what's unbelievable to this guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
man.
elementary could a crime committed by a criminal genius be? Why must Watson, a physician, almost always be portrayed as a total idiot? Why must there be a romantic angle? I'll stop ranting now. I do give the film high marks for production design, but that's about it. The cinematography is amateurish at best, and even the lighting and makeup are bad. Roger Moore is just awful as Holmes, and Patrick Macnee was obviously poorly directed to act the moron. If you want a good Holmes film, check out Murder by Decree. For my money, it's the best. If you want Holmes with a romantic bent, find the BBC TV series Scandal in Bohemia episode. As for this bit of tripe, don't bother. 2 out of 10 stars. I could not find a 1. But yeah, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Once again,
plus,
So
you're
he's
not
saying
doing an insult.
He hasn't seen the Stuart Granger Hound of the Baskervilles. Is that right? So he's
I think
alluding
he's
to-
talking about the Dudley Moore one,
Oh yeah, okay.
which we'll
There
get
are
to.
so many Hound of the Baskervilles.
Yeah, there's a reason
Yeah,
that
we were going to
we
do an IP squad this year. Longtime viewers of only Hound of the
Only Hound of the
Baskervilles.
we
Baskervilles.
could have. It would have been actually, and probably the same
It would
number
have
of
been about
episodes.
What do you
10
think of this hound? I
Uh,
was not afraid of that big doggo. He looked like a very lovable doggo.
well, next week I think
He's
we'll
like
see
crypto, that dog.
a marked improvement on the show because we will finally be examining the 7% solution. I would say pretty unanimously thought of as one of the better, at least, if not one of the best.
You got an Arkin.
You've got an
You got an Arkin.
You've got an
You got a
Arkin.
Myers. You got an Olivier. For
You got
Christ's sake. You got
yeah.
a Redgrave.
Yep.
Yep.
You
You
got a
got
Duvall.
Williamson, who's kind of sober in this, which is great.
Oh, I think Williamson's great. You've got a Duvall.
You got a Duvall. You got a Herbert Ross, who directed my second favorite movie of all time.
Okay.
Brendan, what is that movie? Do you remember what that movie is?
Seconds.
no,
Second
no,
favorite?
that's
No.
that's
Oh,
John
no,
Frankenheimer.
Yeah, that's
Second
right. It's
favorite movie
Frankenheimer.
of
No,
all
what's your second favorite movie of all time, Robin?
time. Last of Sheila?
Yeah,
Jesus,
Herbert Ross.
guys.
Last
Oh.
of Sheila.
Yeah, sorry, that's always eclipsed by who wrote it. I never really think of the director of Last.
Yeah,
of Sheila.
Herbert Ross
Herbert
was solid,
Ross
man.
is the one that went to those guys and said, "This is fun. I'd direct the shit of a whodunit if you ever decided to write one."
We'll talk
And
about
then
Herbert
they
Ross
did.
next week. Kind of an underrated like unsung at least, right? Really good director of the time. But yes, I'm a huge
I love 7% Solution.
I
can't
love
wait.
7% Solution. I'm a huge fan
Cannot
of
wait
all of
either.
Meyer's Sherlock Holmes novels, actually. I think he's one of the best to handle
Oh
the
yeah,
character.
he's always been one of the best.
And
of
still
the
is cra- he just
fan-fiction-y-
he just had one out last year. He's so committed to doing those. So
West End horrors.
yeah,
great.
West End horror is very
Yeah.
good. Yeah. What's the
You do
Canary
Giant
one?
Rat of Sumatra.
I don't know if that
Yes.
was him. Oh, that was him. Okay.
Yes.
There's the
So
one with
good.
Canary in the title. I can't remember the name of it offhand, but that's also good. They're all good. I've liked every one I've read from him.
They're all good.
And
yeah,
also
the one about the Phantom of the Opera is the one I like.
Oh,
It's
which one's that?
it's Holmes versus the Phantom of the Opera, and
All
but
right.
I forget the
I will seek
title
it out.
is like
that's the one I was thinking of.
Myers is great because he comes up with great Doyle. Conan
Well, he
Doyle-esque
really talk
titles.
about
Very
he's
clever.
your kind of writer there, Brandon, where he really is like, I will fit this story in between these stories and
Yeah,
make it
I
all.
love
Yeah,
you
I
know,
he's
that.
really good.
Like, I
and
will.
Robin, it was the one I was trying to. The Phantom of the Opera one was the one I was trying to come up with. The Canary Trainer is the name of that one.
The Canary
Yes.
Trainer.
Very
Okay.
good.
Yes,
Very
really
good.
good.
All right.
Very good.
That's
So
on
that'll
the-
be next week on the show, 7% Solution. Check that out. There's a very nice Shout Factory Blu-ray that I highly recommend people get. But if you want more from us, why wouldn't you include it? All three of us do. There's a lot of bonus content from the three of us over
So
on our
much.
Patreon page. You can hear us
Ridiculous
talk
amount.
about Vincent
Brennan,
Price and Peter Cushing.
Yeah, there was like a supplement that Brennan did that's still being debated by the ratings board because it was so really on the edge.
Well, that's why we
guys.
had to put it behind the paywall. So it's
Thank you.
unrated, uncensored. Brendan Jones' thoughts. And if you want to hear us talk more about 70s TV, Brendan and I did a whole series also on the Patreon about the Night Stalker, Kolchak the Night Stalker. So check that out. But that's patreon.com/punchup, that's punchupent. Also, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications on YouTube. It's youtube.com/@punchupentertainment. Don't miss an episode. But I think that's going to do it, fellas. Until next week, the case file is closed.